Okay, so we are solving equations here, and a little bit of kind of review here. Our focus here is lesson 1.2. All right, we'll take care of 1.3 later, but they kind of all fit together. So we're going to be hitting the basic here of, hey, let's get everything to one side, our distributive property, and then we're going to focus on clearing the fractions. All right, so problem number 2 is where we want to kind of draw our attention to. And what we want to notice is that 4 out there of like, yep, here we go, your distributive property. So we're going to multiply. So 4 times j, that should give me a 4j. Multiply that 4 times the 3, all right? Yes, it's a negative, so you can interpret it as 4 times negative 3, which is a negative 12. Or you can interpret it as 4 times 3, which is 12, and just bring down that subtraction sign. On the other side, we've got the 2j plus the 9. They can't play together, not like terms. So the goal here is to get all the letters to one side, all the numbers to the other side. And in this case here, is I like to keep the letters positive, so I'm going to subtract that 2j over. So there's my 2j. On the other side, still got my minus 12, still got my 9. Now I've got to get the numbers to the other side. So to undo that subtracting 12, we are going to add 12 to both sides. So I've got 2j equals 21. Divide both sides by 2. And hey, improper fractions are fine. So j equals 21 halves. If you want to go a step further and do, hey, I can take 10 groups out with one piece left over and say 10 and a half, it's fine. Just stay improper. Leave it. Move on. Okay. The real thing that we're kind of after here is, one, reminding ourselves about how to solve equations, all right? But what we're really after is when the fractions show up and how to handle them. So we've got 2 different approaches here. One where we simply solve with fractions. And that's why you see in question number 4 here that phrase of no clear. Whereas in problem number 4 over there, you can see yes clear. So there are 2 different techniques. Just got to see what works better for you. And that's what a lot of this year is going to be about, is when to apply what technique, what works better for me as an individual. So problem number 4, if we do the no clear, all right, we're just solving the equation, but we just have to play with fractions. So I'm going to get my letters to one side, my numbers to the other. I'm going to subtract the 2/3 m over. And the reason why is, like I said, I like to keep it positive. And so I know 5/6 minus 2/3 is going to be a positive number because 5/6 is bigger than 2/3. I'm going to need a common denominator. So I'll just kind of come off to the side here. 6 is my common denominator. What can 3 and 6 both fit into? Yeah, it can fit into a 6. So 3 times 2 is a 6, 2 times 2 is 4. Yeah, so it's 5/6 minus 4. Hey, listen, and if right now we've lost you and you're like, no, I don't want the fractions, then right now you're going to be locking in on that clearing that's there. Now, one, you've got your calculator as well, so you can use your calculator to type in your fractions, whatever gets the job done. So let's see here. So we've got a -2, I've got an equals, I've got a 1/6 m, and then I've got a +3. So now I need to get the numbers to that left side. So to undo it, we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. So -5 equals 1/6 m. All right, so 2 approaches here. One, I could divide both sides by 1/6. To undo the multiplying, we divide. And then I would have to do -5 divided by the 1/6. And that's okay. What's more popular is the multiplying by the reciprocal. When you solve an equation and you're trying to get that letter all by itself, multiply by the reciprocal, which is -6 ones. And the reason why is, well, when you multiply by the reciprocal, the answer is always 1. And that's the goal. Get 1m. Get one of whatever letter that we've got. All right, so if I multiply that side, I got to multiply this side. And -6 ones is just -6. So -6 times -5, hello, 30. So, yep, there we go. 30 equals m. All right, so again, if you didn't like that because of the fractions, let's focus in here on problem number 4, and that is the clearing of the fractions. So when you clear a fraction, you still have to do kind of this business up here of finding that common denominator, but we just don't call it a common denominator. We call it the least common multiple because, well, we're trying to get rid of the fractions. So we ain't talking about fractions here. So I'm still only focusing on the 2/3 and the 5/6. Same as before. Hey, who can work? And what you're kind of doing here, it's you're listing out your multiplication facts, all right? And you're finding the smallest number that they have in common. And yeah, so you can see your 6s there. They've got a 12 that's in common, but the smallest number that they have in common is 6, and that's just going to make my life easier because it'll be smaller numbers. Okay, so we're going to multiply everyone by 6 because that is the least common multiple that's there. So I'm going to have to multiply 2/3 times 6. Oops, it's 2/3 m though. All right. I have to multiply that -2 by the 6. I've got to multiply that 5/6 m by a 6. And I've got to multiply that 3 by a 6. Now, you can write it out like that. What some people will just do is wrap the parentheses and slap the 6 out there. And then they know they're multiplying to all of them by using your distributive property. So you could use calculator here. At the same time, let's just multiply. So 6 is the same as 6 ones. So when we multiply fractions, we just multiply straight across. So 2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3. 12 divided by 3, there's a 4m. And that is the goal of clearing. When you multiply by that least common multiple, the fractions will go away, and it's nothing but whole numbers. -2 times a 6, that's a -12. All right. Again, with the fraction, I like to see it. So 5 times 6 is 30. 6 times 1 is 6. 30 divided by 6. Yep, that's a 5. So it's a 5m. And 3 times 6 is an 18. Now, I'm going to pause one more thing. Like the multiplication of the fractions I did there, of multiplying across and simplifying, that's fine. Go back to your 6th grade math, 7th grade math, and don't forget when you're multiplying with fractions, you can do cross division. So technically, who can I divide 6's? Oh, I can divide them both by 6. 6 divided by 6 is a 1. And then you can see, hey, there's my 5. Over here, I can divide the 3 and the 6 by 3. So that would become a 1. It's 3 divided by 3. And then 6 divided by 3 is a 2. So when I multiply across, 2 times 2 is 4. Again, listen, get home safely, whatever technique that you need. Okay, letters to one side, numbers to the other. So I'm going to subtract the 4m over because that's just going to give me that 1m. And then I'm going to subtract my 18 overs. Instead of rewriting, you can just simply double dip that's here. And look who's there. Look who's there. Same answer. So you just got to pick the technique. Now, you don't always have to do one. So sometimes I clear fractions. Sometimes I don't. Just kind of depends on what the question looks like and what I'm feeling more comfortable with. So yeah, there you go. Solving equations there, clearing fractions. We'll get into the other ones tomorrow. Take care.